All right. Thank you again for joining us on Junior CEO Academy podcast. Junior CEO Academy is a youth entrepreneurship academy. We mainly focus on youth between ages 6 and 19, and we teach them four pillar courses. So we teach them entrepreneurship, financial literacy, personal development, and entrepreneurship. All right. So today we have a special guest, and this podcast is designed to motivate, inspire, and educate aspiring kidpreneurs and also existing kidpreneurs. Now, I myself was a kidpreneur. All right, so I'm gonna tell a little bit about my kidpreneur story. So I started my first business at age 8. All right, it was a community cleanup program in Fort Sill, Oklahoma. My first employee was my older sister. So I was 8, she was 9, and then I had a homeboy named Tito. So those two were my first two employees. We had a pretty successful company. We did a few move outs. We did yards. We just did like tedious tasks that military families didn't want to do, and it provided us income, for our business. I had my second business at 10. It was a lawn care service in Fort Stewart, Oklahoma. No, sorry. My second business was in Germany, in Buchbach, Germany. It actually was a babysitting business. Then my third business was at 12, and that was in Fort Stewart, Georgia, and that was a lawn care service. All right, so today we have a special kidpreneur guest. I'm going to let him introduce himself at this time.
Hi, my name is Marques D of the Marques Enterprises. I'm a motivational and inspirational speaker, and I'm the CEO and founder of the Marques Enterprises. At the Marques Enterprises, we sell motivational and inspirational items such as inspirational bookmarks, inspirational squares, inspirational stones, and inspirational and greeting cards. And it is our mission to help children and people who might be feeling depressed and sad so that they feel joyful and happy.
Great, great. No, that was a wonderful elevator pitch. I like that. I like that. All right, so Marquise, how old were you when you started your business?
So I got my DBA in 2017, but I did my first event as the Marquis store in 2016, but I started selling about about 3, 4 years old.
Oh, wow. So you was actually 4 years old?
I used
Wow.
to I used to sell things with my mom.
Okay. Now let me ask you something. So what inspired you to become an entrepreneur besides your parents?
I used to speak at churches a lot.
Okay.
My first speaking engagement was at the age of 5. It used to make me feel joyful when somebody would come up to me and say that really blessed me. So I started doing the inspirational bookmarks and the squares, and yeah.
Wow, I like it. I like it. And I was really impressed with you at Raising the Moguls event in Atlanta. When I saw you, I was like, okay, he's a very sharp guy. So that's why I definitely wanted to interview you. So I just say, as a kidpreneur, what would you say or was your biggest challenge as far as getting into entrepreneurship?
Some people get surprised when I tell them this, but I don't like speaking to children. I can speak to them on a personal level, but I can't speak to them on a entrepreneur level because it's different. I can speak to children that are already entrepreneurs, but it's kind of hard to speak to like my friends about having a business and that they already know and they got used to it.
Wow, no, that's very interesting. And all right, for the audience, all right, how old are you right now?
I'm 11. I turned
Wow.
11 July 19th.
Wow, no, you're very, very sharp, young man. Very sharp. So, no, I definitely appreciate that. And you're right. Like when you talk to when you talk to your peers that are non-entrepreneurs, the conversation is different. Like, just say it might be better if you're talking sports or TV, but when you're talking about business, since it's not their niche, their not their expertise, then often they don't understand it. So, just say for instance even as a college student, I dealt with the same thing. So I would try to get my friends into business, like friends and family, and they saw more value in buying expensive watches and jewelry and Jordans versus investing in a business. Whereas I invested in businesses, and then I could buy all the toys that I want, as far as the cars, the places that I lived in, watches, clothes, whatever. So I basically went after business first and invested my time and energy and money into that versus material things, right? So at your age, I'm pretty sure you already are smart enough to know the difference between an asset and a liability, right? Okay. Now I'll just give you a little extra on that. So an asset would be like you're doing. You invest in your businesses. You invest in income generating merchandise, whether it's equipment, whether it's promotional material, versus liabilities would be okay. Unless you're selling watches, you can look at your phone for the time. So it's not an investment that'll pay you back. It's not a asset. It would be more of a liability. Jordans, unless you're selling Jordans would be a liability, because for the same $200 you spend for Jordans, you can put in your promotional material or advertising for your business, right? So this is
Yes.
just kind of like a basic background. All right. So as a kidpreneur, that's a motivational speaker. All right, who is the people that you want to motivate the most?
I want to motivate children,
Okay.
but mostly I motivate people of all ages.
Okay. All right. No, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Now, do you plan on writing a book in the future, or do you have one already that you publish?
I have the books written, but it has not been published. It's going through
Okay.
um, editing and publishing.
Gotcha. So when can the people expect to read your book?
I don't have a date yet. The
Okay.
people working on my book haven't gave me a date of when the edits will be done.
Okay. So maybe sometime, probably towards the end of the year or beginning of next year.
Most likely.
Okay, pretty good, pretty good. Now, as a kidpreneur, what entrepreneurs do you look up to?
I look up to Les Brown, um, Michael Jordan.
Okay,
I also look up to Eric Thomas.
okay, all right, that's pretty good. Okay, and so all right, and I tell, as an adult entrepreneur, I still have mentors. So mentorship is very important, because what it'll allow you to do is learn from other people's mistakes. And most of the time, the people you name, they'll tell you the mistakes they made along the way. And then since you're young enough to not make those mistakes, you can kind of see their path and then do it your way and avoid like the pitfalls, right?
Yes.
All right. So now you got pretty good mentors. Now, this is not one of the questions I sent you, but as far as personal development, how often do you listen to those speakers that you mentioned, like the Les Browns, Eric Thomas?
I usually listen to them while I'm going to sleep on like when I'm in the car.
Okay. Smart
So
guy.
about every day.
Okay, that's smart. Now, sorry if you're not familiar with the term, you're doing it anyway. But personal development is transformative, meaning the more you engage in it, the smarter you get, the sharper you get in your craft, and the better you'll be in the future. All right. So I used to listen to motivation speakers like every day for like almost 20 years straight. So, like you said, I didn't listen to the radio station. I listened to audiobooks. All right. So, just say if you don't like to read, another way you can consume the information is via audiobooks or just watching the YouTube channel, right? All right. And then the things you don't know, you can Google it or watch YouTube. All of that would be considered self education or personal development. Both of those two things can change your life like really fast. All right. So,
All
all
right.
right, besides listening to those speakers, what books do you read, or do you recommend other kidpreneurs read to so that they become sharp like you?
Mostly, I just read regular books.
Okay.
I don't really read entrepreneur books. I just like reading just like books that everybody would read because it's easier for me to understand because some books written by entrepreneurs are like they use bigger vocabulary that I might not understand. Um they use terms I don't get, and so it's just easier for me to read like books like Diary of the Wimpy Kid.
Gotcha. That makes sense. All right. Well, I'm going to make a recommendation. So this will help you in the future. All right. The two books that I recommend to my kidpreneurs and adults, one would be Rich Dad, Poor Dad. All right. And that's a fairly easy read. So I would definitely encourage you to get that. So Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. And then you have a book called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Then you also have the black version by Dr. Dennis Kimbrough, who's in Atlanta, Georgia. All right. Between those two books, they've created more millionaires and billionaires than any other book. So that means Les Brown read them, Eric Thomas read them. So most of the people that we look up to as mentors or virtual mentors, they have read those two books, right? All right, so yeah, definitely take a look at that. Now, what is your vision for your company? Like, where do you see your company being, let's say, in the next 2 years?
I want to have my YouTube channel and podcast by this year, but in 2 years I want to have maybe like a building. It doesn't have just a place to market and manufacture my products.
Oh, wow, smart guy. Okay, so you definitely ahead of the curve. So I'll give you a little advice on that. So I've had 5 commercial leases. So I had 2 tire shops, 2 restaurants, and then 1 barbershop. So my advice to you on that would be you can look into what they call a virtual space, meaning you don't have to pay for it 30 days out of the month. You can just rent it as needed. So just say they have them as cheap as $149 a month. And then you would have access to the conference room. You have access to a private office. You can schedule appointments there. And then just say you can graduate to maybe, just say for what you're trying to do, you wouldn't need more than 700 square feet.
Yeah.
So just say with about 700 square feet, you can set up a small manufacturing area. You can also set up office area, conference room, stuff like that. So I would say, yeah, definitely, you can start small and then you basically build as you grow. So as your income grows, then you take on, a commercial lease that's more full time, but you can start with what they call virtual spaces. All right, and I can I can help your mom, identify a few opportunities down there. Now, are there any tools that you would recommend, whether it's an app, software, website? Are there any tools that you would recommend to other kidpreneurs or aspiring kidpreneurs?
So with my website, since it's under construction, it's easy to use Wix.
Okay.
For my podcast and my YouTube, I use Audacity, and I use one more website for video editing.
Okay.
I use Filmora and Camtasia.
Okay.
And for like creating T-shirts and labels and everything, I would say maybe if you can't find somebody in your area, maybe try Vistaprint.
Okay, smart guy. Well, we definitely appreciate those tools and resources. Now, I did forget one other book that I want to recommend to you. Have you ever heard of a guy named Farrah Gray?
I think.
Okay, he has a book called Millionaire. All right, it's called Millionaire, and he was rich by the time he was 14. So he became a millionaire at 14. Young black guy from Chicago. You know, really ambitious. He started off selling painted rocks. Like so he just spray painted rocks and he started selling those. All right. Then he kind of graduated into different business ventures. He started his own food manufacturing company, and he became a millionaire at 14. Now, of course, he had a strategic partner, which was like an angel investor, and he wrote up a proposal, and the guy bought into his vision, and he became a millionaire at 14. So definitely check out his book. It's called Millionaire, and it's by Farrah Gray, Farrahgray. All right. So all right, we'll finish off by letting you basically tell the audience where they can find your products at, where they can book you at, like any social media links, anything that they can use to reach out to you just in case they want you at their event or they want to buy your products and services.
So you can find me on Facebook at the Marques Enterprises, and mostly all my other social media handles are the Marques Enterprises. You can my website is under construction, and it most likely will have a new URL. So
Okay.
it'll be changing over time, and I want it once my YouTube channel comes out, it'll most likely be called The Boy with the Plan. So.
Gotcha. I like it. I like it. All right. All right. Before I end this, are there any questions that you would like to ask me that would help you with your business? Like it could be
Um,
any questions about business or entrepreneurship.
what would be some good things to use for podcasts?
Okay. I actually like this platform, Zoom, because how it works is with Zoom, like I just say once I hit stop recording, they'll send me a link. So I'll have an audio link that I can use to put on like SoundCloud, Apple, iTunes, like all the different streaming sites. And then I'll also have the video link that I can put on YouTube. So you actually kill two birds with one stone. By using Zoom, which is a free platform, you'll get the audio to put on your streaming podcast platform sites, and then you can start building your content on YouTube, your YouTube channel, because you'll have a link that you can upload to YouTube. So really, this is probably the best platform, being that it's free and you get audio and visual.
Thank you.
All right. What other questions you got?
That was really the only one for right now.
Okay. What about nothing about fundraising, marketing?
Oh, well, what would be some good things to do with fundraising? So I'm working on a project
Okay.
of a play for
Gotcha.
about Christmas time, and I was looking for like vendors and sponsors, and I wanted to know what's the best way to do that.
Okay. So, all right, the first thing you want to do is you want to create a sponsorship package. All right. And I can, if you get your mom to send me a text, I can send you a sample sponsorship package. All right. Are you familiar with the app called Canva?
Yes.
Okay, so you can actually use Canva to create your sponsorship package. So I just say, and it's usually like 1, 2, or 3 pages, so it's nothing long. All right, just say, and you would create three different forms of 3 different tiers of sponsorship. So I just say, for instance, your first level could be $100. All right, for $100, you'll tell them, okay, well, I'll put your logo on my T-shirt. All right. All right, then your next level can be 200. All right, so for $200, you'll put their logo on your T-shirt, you'll put it on the flyer, and probably your social media. All right, then your third level can be $300. All right, for $300, you'll put their logo on your T-shirt, your website, the flyer. You'll give them a T-shirt. All right, you'll do a video drop for them, basically saying, hey, thank you to XYZ company for sponsoring my event, right? Okay, so once you create your sponsorship package, now the easiest way to create it is, all right, this is what you want to do. Just focus on 5 W's. Who, which is what's the theme for the event, and then you'll give your elevator pitch because you would be the host of the event. So, all right, so who, and then what would be, all right, what type of event is it? So you'll just kind of iron out the details like, all right, this is what the event is. Uh, when would be the date. So when is the date? All right. Also in the what part, you're also going to put, kind of what can they expect from the event. All right. Then where, that'll be your physical location for the event. Like it's going to be at this venue or this particular facility. All right. And then the last W is going to be why. And that means like if it's why are you hosting the event? Like, is it going to be connected to like a charitable cause? Is it for like an education purpose? Is it for inspiration, motivation? You'll just basically summarize why you created the event in the first place, right? So once you write those 5 W's, then you can create an Eventbrite page. You can use Eventbrite page, or you can use Facebook events. That way you can promote and market the event, right?
Right.
All right. Then you also can create a promotional video sales letter. So you'll just record on your camera, just like a 3-minute video talking about your event. So you got to create some hype around the event, right? So
Okay.
you want to basically create, because you have to be your biggest promoter, brand ambassador. So you're gonna hype the event up, like, hey, look, I got this event. It's December, blah blah blah. It's gonna cost about this much to attend. This is what it's all about. So you're gonna hype the event and educate people on the event, right?
Okay.
Okay, because I had an event planning company about a year or two out of college, and I made a lot of money doing it. But I use social media to promote it, so you can do the same thing. All right.
Okay.
What other questions you got?
That was really the only questions I had at this time.
Okay, now far as fundraising, now I'm gonna give you a strategy you can use for fundraising, and you can do this with the event or just in general. So I just say everybody, especially kids, have old things that they don't use anymore. So it can be an old PlayStation game, it can be an old gaming station, it can be your mom or dad's old watch, old jewelry. Of course, you want to ask them, if they're still using it. All right, so just say for instance you needed to raise $1,000. All right, so if you found 100 items between your family and friends that they don't need, whether it's T-shirts, shoes, hat, jewelry, old games, books. So if you find 100 items and then you place a $10 value on it, you sell those 100 items at $10. Guess what? You just made $1,000, right? And then you can sell it. You can sell it. You can tell your mom to help you set up a yard sale. All right, you can sell it like that. You can get your mom to kind of supervise or get her to post it on Facebook Marketplace. Like I with my first tire shop, one year I made over $70,000 just from Facebook Marketplace. I would just take pictures of my tires and put them in Facebook Marketplace. So you can sell on there. It's an app called Let Go. You can sell on there. Like I said, just make sure your mom, kind of supervise the process. That way, you're dealing with the right person on the other end, and then just say you never, meet in no random location. You can meet at the police department. You can meet at inside of Walmart or like in the main area. That way, it's a safe transaction. But just say places you can sell old merchandise. Facebook Marketplace. You got Craigslist. You got Let Go app. You can sell directly from your personal Facebook or IG. So the key is just monetizing or liquidating old products and goods. All right.
All right.
All right. Unless you got any more questions, we definitely thank you for joining us this Sunday on Junior CEO Academy podcast. We wish you the best luck in the future. You're a really smart guy, so I think you're definitely on track to be rich by 21, rich financially, and then rich mentally. Because I just say my definition or breakdown of the term rich, RICH, is realizing I create happiness. All right, realizing I create happiness, because success is going to be based on what your definition of success is. Like your definition of success might be different from my definition of success. So ultimately, guess what? You define what success is for you. All right. So, and the more you engage in personal development, which you're pretty good at, the smarter you get, the more you learn. Also, the more you learn and apply, the more you earn. All right.
All right. Thank you for having me.
All right, well, I appreciate it. Once I edit the video, I'll send it to you. I'll get all your social media handles and I'll add it to the video, and then we'll put it out so the people can enjoy the value you shared.
Okay, thank you.
All right, have a nice day.
You too.
All right, bye-bye.